Today I'm going to do something that some viewers might find disgusting, so if you find blood and gore really, if it will make you vomit, you might want to turn this video off right now, because this is something that's quite disgusting to a lot of people. Some people find me completely morbid and disgusting for what I do, but this is part of what I do. It's my art, and a lot of people have been asking me how I flesh out meat heads for work in my art, and I'm going to show you today how I do that. You'll have to excuse my voice because I have a cold.
So how did you get into doing this?
What, fleshing heads?
Oh yeah, you know, this type of art, you know,
Well,
your skull art that you do.
I was very well adjusted to death as a child.
Yeah.
There was always a lot of animals being killed on my property. My father's a hunter. I've been fleshing rabbits from the time I can remember. So, well, not fleshing, skinning rabbits. So blood and gore never bothered me, as it would bother most people. This is a coyote. I'm assuming that it may be male because of its size and the muscle structure, because males are more muscular than females. The first thing that I usually do when I get a head is I like to smudge them. And anybody who knows about Native American myth knows what I mean by that.
What's the purpose of smudging?
It's to clear any negative energy that may be surrounding the animal's death. Because I get these heads from a friend of mine, and she put out the word to a lot of her friends that have farms or whatnot, and they're getting rid of nuisance animals, animals who are coming around farms and attacking livestock. And it's not their fault that they're there. Humans are encroaching on their land, so they have to eat something. And if they go after the sheep, that's not the coyote's fault. But basically, I'm not sure how these animals died. A lot of them, I am assuming, are gunshot wounds. Probably mostly to the heart region, because I've only found one out of all the ones I have done that were shot in the head. And I recovered the bullet from him. I had also at one time gotten heads from a fur trapper who gets a few animals a year, native status. The first thing I usually do is I will cut out this part right here along the top of the head, this muscle. Once I get it down far enough where I can see the skull, I pull it back, and that makes it fleshing a lot easier. I usually prefer the rounded tip blades, but I don't have any at this moment, so I have to use the pointed. The rounded ones give you a lot more control. And as you pull, it just comes right off the skull. Now, I'm not getting all of the flesh, but I'm getting enough so that once it goes into the flesh box and the decomposers go in, they're going to clean it up really quickly. There won't be a lot left to mummify to the skull. The first ones I did, I put them in just like this, and they did not turn out as well as I had thought they would.
Now, when you say the defleshers go in, explain what that is.
What, going into the flesh box?
Yeah.
I have a plywood box with a hinge door that I put these guys in after I have removed as much flesh as possible off of them. I put them in the flesh box.
And what happens there?
Inside the flesh box, they're put inside of a trash bag, and I never did this before, but I'm starting it with him, is I'm dating all of the bags by putting masking tape on it, and on the masking tape I will put when they were put in there, because I'm starting to get enough heads in there now that it's going to become very complicated to figure out who was in there first, and who is clean, who's the cleanest.
Yeah, but who or what is doing the defleshing?
The ants, maggots, other small bacterial decomposers. It's basically done through natural processes, because the bugs got to eat too.
Now, of course, the winter's just ending, so
the ants will soon be waking up. The flies will come out and lay their eggs into the flesh, which is when the eggs hatch. That's when the maggots come. And contrary to what a lot of people might think, the yard doesn't smell.
No, that's right. It doesn't smell here. If you go really close to the flesh box,
Then you can smell some
you
odor.
can get a whiff, but
But it's not very strong because where I take as much flesh off as possible, and then they're inside of their bags.
Yeah.
And when I put them in the bag, I don't tie the bag completely off because then the decomposers can't get in there.
it wasn't like that moose head that we couldn't use.
Yeah.
That was over the other side. Boy, that
Yeah, that smelled. There was a lot of scent coming off of that one.
Yeah.
We were given a moose head to use for my art. And where it was a bull moose, it had horns on it. But the people who dropped it off to my friend, like my friend doesn't look at the heads because sometimes she's very sensitive, as am I. So she doesn't always get to look at them because sometimes she can't stand to look at the flesh. So she didn't know that the top of his cranium had been cut off to remove the horns. And I can't use him for the skull art, but I can use him for other bone art, use his bone. So he won't go completely to waste. I tried to make nothing go to waste here. I find it's a lot more respectful to the animal if I can take them and their parts and make something beautiful out of them.
You know, if I knew exactly when that had been taken, these parts you're cutting out, that looks like good eating.
Oh, it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, some people might have a problem eating coyote flesh, which is pretty much, it's basically dog meat.
Yeah.
But they do it in other countries.
Well, you know, in a survival situation, I mean, you get a coyote, you got some pretty good food there.
Yeah.
Right? And a coyote would last a person quite some time.
It would. Most coyotes run around 45 to 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Right here we have some larger ones, but they're not pure. They're hybrids. They're hybridized with dogs.
Or wolves.
Well, some people say wolf, but we haven't had wolves in this part of the country for a very long time. That have been documented anyway. I'm sure there's still some here, somewhere.
Well, that one that I saw that night when I was coming up from the garbage box.
Yeah. He's about 80 pounds.
That was definitely not any of the coyotes I saw when I was out west.
No.
Coyotes I saw out west were just tiny little things.
Yeah.
This thing had to go 70 pounds.
Oh, more than that. He was the size of a large German Shepherd.
Yeah. Oh, he was a big animal.
Because I seen him one night when I had Callie out.
And he was smart too.
Yep.
And I seen his scat too, and
Huge.
I'm telling you, it was a big pile of scat.
Now, after I get this part off, I usually like to go in for the cheeks. And you can see here some of the neck.
Yeah.
Some of the neck bones. This is part of the very back of the skull that has been shattered out into the neck. So there might be a bullet here somewhere that I haven't found yet. Or he could have, after he was initially shot, whacked in the back. Or this was taken off when the head was removed. I think that was
chopped off.
Yeah, that was chopped.
Yeah.
Because this looks pretty clean. A lot of people don't know where to cut to remove a head, but he's still usable.
Oh no,